That was the third lesson, which is the only variable you can really control in life for success is your work ethic. And when I tell you, I promise, take the laziest person in this class, I guarantee you I work less than you. I went to less class, I took less notes, I studied less for tests. I just kind of got by because I was smart enough. But when I made a decision that I was going to run for student body president, I made a decision in that moment that I was going to give it every last bit that I had. And I stood outside the freaking USEN for 2 months, passing out flyers every day for 4 to 6 hours a day. I passed out in 2 months 15,000 flyers. I spent 12 hours a day for 2 months straight doing nothing but going to every college club campus, talking to everyone on campus, getting other people to try to do things to help me win the election, putting up signs late at night. I stopped going to class. I literally, for 2 months, stopped going to class. Because the only thing that mattered to me was winning this election. And I realized the only variable I could control was how hard I worked. And in life, you're going to find success comes to you for lots of reasons. It comes to you because you're lucky and you have good timing. It comes to you because you're smart. It comes to you because you put yourself in the right place at the right time. But the only thing that you can really control in that process is how hard you work. And I know most of you are not working at 100% capacity. And that's okay. You know why? Because you're living your life. And you got plenty of time. But you don't want to be the person 5 years from now and 10 years from now that still hasn't picked something to give it to be your all. And I'm sad to say a big percentage of you will. And I don't know who. I can't tell you right now. But I know a lot of you are going to be in your mid-20s and you're going to feel totally lost, and you'll have skated by here at UCSB, and you'll be that same person 5 years from now. And you'll be leading a life that won't make you happy. And it's not going to get you anywhere. And so my advice is pick something, whatever that thing is, whether it's school, which it certainly wasn't for me, or business, or a relationship, or a nonprofit, or a hobby, and give it everything you've got. And so after I won the election, and it was a runoff, it was like the closest election in like UCSB history. And then the year that I spent actually being the student body president was this great experience for being an entrepreneur, because there's hundreds of people in AS, you're helping to manage them, you're doing budgets. And then I thought that I was going to go to law school after I graduated. And my background is, I grew up in this like classic family with like much older Jewish parents. My parents in their 80s. My dad's Persian. He was an immigrant. He has like a functional 8th grade education. And ever since I was a kid, all I ever heard was, go to law school and help me with the family business. This is what you are going to do, Jason. It wasn't even a choice, right? I was like 13 years old. You're going to law school. You're going to help me with the family business. And so I was okay, my whole life I just thought I was going to law school because this is what this like scary Scarface like Persian guy was saying to me. And he's like, say hello to my little friend, man. You're going to law school, okay? You're going to study law, help me with the family business. And he didn't actually hold his crotch when he did that. And so I had made a decision at the end of my senior year of college that I actually wasn't going to go to law school, but instead, I was going to be a motivational speaker. And why anyone was going to come to see a 21-year-old kid from Beverly Hills wanting to be a motivational speaker, I don't know. But I just started telling everyone that I knew that I was going to be a motivational speaker. And I remember I was at an event here on campus. It was that the chancellor put together, and I was invited because I was a student body president. And the woman that was the ambassador to Yemen, that later went on to be the ambassador, she went on to be the ambassador to, I think, literally, like Iraq or Afghanistan during the war. I mean, she was a tough lady that, she asked me at one of these cocktail parties, what are you doing next year, Jason? I said, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. And she spent the next 15 minutes grilling me, like, who's going to come see you speak? What do you have to talk about? Like, who's going to pay you money? What makes you qualified? I just said, I don't know, but I'm going to do it. And what was really important about that is there's two camps, there's two thoughts that people are going to tell you about how to set goals. Some people are going to say, hey, when you've got a goal or when you've got an idea, don't tell anybody. Keep your idea secret. Don't tell people your goals. They're going to take your ideas. They're going to shit on your goals. They're going to tell you you can't be successful at it. And yeah, that's going to happen. It will. And then there's this other camp, which is when you have an idea, a business idea, or what you want to do with your life, share it with lots of people. And share it with lots of people because you're going to get good feedback and ideas. But there's another reason why it's really important once you make a decision what you're going to do, to share it with other people. And that's because you create mental contracts. You now have social pressure on you to go through with that thing that you said you were going to do. And if you're a person of any integrity whatsoever, and you tell all these people in your life, I'm going to do X, and then you don't do it, you're going to feel like a douche. I'm just saying, you're going to feel like douchey McDoucherson douche the third. And so my thought process was I'm going to tell all these people what I'm going to do. And so I just started telling them I was going to be a motivational speaker. When I graduated, I found this company that ended up getting bought by Monster.com that was hiring people to go talk to high school and college students. It's like, I could do that. So they got me to do that. Then I found these other companies that would hire people in their 40s and 50s to do one-day seminars on things like communication skills and negotiations and sales. And I realized the only reason they hired people is not because they were experienced, but because they had to sell product in the back of the room. I was like, I could do that, and I bet I could do that better than other people. And so I told them, give me a shot, and if I'm not one of the top 10% of salespeople, you can fire me. And then I did do what John said, which is my last year of college, I took a weekend class in hypnosis. And for 1 hour in that weekend class, they said, how to do a stage hypnosis show. And the very first stage hypnosis show I ever did was because buddies of mine, I was in the A Pi fraternity for like a year, and they asked me after I graduated if I could do a show for them in UCLA, and I said, okay. And one of the things I'm going to tell you later is how that first show I did went horribly wrong. But I spent 2 years, and one day I would fly to Berkeley and do a stage hypnosis show. And actually, for a year, I did all the shows for all the incoming freshmen at UCSB the year after I graduated, which was kind of cool. And then the next day, I would drive to San Diego from LA and do a talk for high school students. And then the day after that, I would fly out to Texas to a little Holiday Inn and do a seminar for 30 people. And I did this for 2 years straight. And every day I woke up and was on the road speaking and talking to different folks. I didn't make a ton of money. But one thing that you're also going to learn is how the things that you do in life, you're never sure how they're going to come back and you're going to use them later on. And what I didn't realize at that time was that 2 years that I was spending was probably the most valuable thing I ever did to help me raise millions and millions of dollars. So let me pause there and just tell you a little bit about myself now. I'm the co-founder and CEO of DocStock. DocStock's one of the most trafficked sites on the internet today. It's in the top 500 most visited sites on the internet. There are 20 million people a month that come to DocStock.com. There are 20 million registered users on DocStock.com. And there have been over 500 million people in the last 4 years that have at some point landed on our website. And what we do is we help small businesses by providing them documents, videos, articles that help them start, grow, and manage their business. We raised $4 million for this business. We've been growing. There's 40 folks that work for us in our office in Santa Monica, right by the beach. After I finished this beach school, I went to another beach school. I went to Pepperdine for business school and law school. And it was while I was going to business school and law school that I started working on DocStock. And I had never built any kind of business like that before. And I'll tell you about the business I built in between. And in fact, I came here to do a talk last year for John's class. And one of the students that was in the class reached out to me afterwards. And he's now the head of our customer service team and probably one of the coolest employees that I think the most of in our company. And what I can tell you is that these lessons that I'm going over are the exact things They got me to the place running one of the biggest, most popular internet companies in the world. And really, there is nothing distinguishable between me and you. I don't even think, honestly, if I applied to UCSB today, I'd get in. Really don't. Most of you are smarter than me. You're certainly more athletic. Some of you may be better looking. I don't know which ones, but some of you. And there is absolutely nothing in our backgrounds, nothing in our skill set to distinguish us in any meaningful way, except I've lived and followed these lessons that I hope that you're going to also.